Hey guys! In today's video, I'm going to answer some questions from my new Intermittent Fasting Life Facebook group. Hi, this is Mimi Bonnie. If you guys have not heard about it or joined it yet, check it out. I'll put the link below and in my description below. So I posted a post asking you guys to ask me questions about intermittent fasting, losing fat, losing weight, and building muscle. And there are a few comments on here, not that much, so I'm going to start answering them today. First one is from, I don't know how to say your name, it's spelled AKO, so I'm not even going to try to slaughter that. Comment, I need to build muscle. All right, so not really a question, but I'm assuming you're asking me how to build muscle. So if I were to think about this in threes, the number one priority thing is you need to give your muscles a reason to grow. So it needs a stimulus to get bigger than the size it is now. And the best way to do that is with weight training. And even more specifically, compound movements. So exercises like the squat, the bench, the deadlift, overhead press, and rows. Because these exercises involve using a lot of different muscle groups, and it helps you build strength and muscle the fastest. Now, if you're a beginner, you could think of it as get stronger. Because as you get stronger, you're going to be able to lift more weights and your muscles will adapt to the weight that you can do, and it will grow bigger so that it can handle the stress and the stimulus that you're putting onto your muscles. And don't worry about getting bulky. Like it's a long process to grow muscle. I mean, on average, you're looking at a pound a month. Probably a little faster gains for beginners, but that's a whole different other topic. And you don't necessarily need to do weight training to build muscle. You can also, it's about challenging your muscles. So you can also doing body weight exercises, resistance bands, doing, weights in those classes, boot camp like classes. People can and have built muscle doing those type of activities. However, it is not the fastest way to do it. So, give your muscles a reason to grow. Focus on compound lifts for the best results. Number two is you need to eat enough to build muscle. So even if you're busting your butt at the gym, if you're not giving your muscles enough fuel, there's nothing to help grow it. And you want to focus on protein, definitely, because that is the main building block of muscle. And carbs. A lot of people don't eat carbs, but you do need a combination of both protein and carbs to build lean muscle. And then lastly, since this is on the topic of intermittent fasting, you can get faster results if you try out fasted training. So there are research that shows fasted training does help improve the post-workout anabolic window, which will help you with more protein synthesis and muscle growth. All right, hope that answers your question. You could also, hope that answers your question. All right, question number 2 from Dolores. Can I have cream in my coffee? Okay, I get this question a lot, guys. Check out the announcements post. This is answered in thorough detail along with all the research links. So, in intermittent fasting, technically anything but water breaks a fast. And in general, intermittent fasting says you can drink water, coffee, and tea. Now, if you add cream, you are technically breaking the fast, but the more important question is, are you still getting the benefits of intermittent fasting? If you're looking for lower blood sugar and insulin, you still get those benefits. So the general rule is a splash of cream is okay, and if you really need a specific number, the number out there is to not go over 50 calories. So fat alone does not really spike the insulin. All right, moving on, a question from Michelle. Explain the IF plan completely. This is a very, very broad question. There is no real IF plan. IF is simply alternating periods of eating and not eating, and there's different structures. So it's almost like diets. There's all these different type of diets, and in the end, if you're looking to lose weight, all of them can work, but it's just figuring out which one works best for you. So it's very similar to IF. There's many different protocols, whether it's fasting for 24 hours or the very popular fast for 16 hours, eat an 8-hour window, or OMAD, where you're fasting the entire day and then you're eating one meal at the end of the day, alternate day fasting. There's all these different types. I suggest you look at the announcement post. There is the 101 guide there, and also we have a guide for comparisons in terms of pros and cons for the different types. All right, moving on. Sam's question: can you please talk about the skinny fat body completion? And is it possible to get rid of it with IF? Thank you. So I'm assuming you mean skinny fat body composition. So skinny fat, first off, is people who look skinny, but their body composition has a lot higher body fat percentage than they want. So the solution is to really build more lean muscle and change your body composition so that it's less fat and more lean muscle. And that goes back to my first answer about building muscle. So focusing on weight training and specifically compound lifts. And IF, okay, is it possible to get rid of with IF? So IF is not some miracle thing. IF can be used for losing fat, losing weight, building muscle, or maintaining. The thing that matters most is your nutrition, your diet, your calories, your macros. So yes, this can be achieved with IF, building muscle. It helps speed things up, and it has a lot of different benefits that I mentioned before. So my answer to that is yes, it is possible to get rid of the skinny fat body composition with IF. Okay, a question from Artie. I'm confused about the pre-workout aminos and post. Does it break the fast? Everyday fast or 2 days a week? Okay, so there's two questions here. Yes, technically anything but water breaks the fast. However, when you're looking at fasted training, a lot of research supports the use of protein pre-workout to really maximize your performance and your protein synthesis and muscle growth. So if you're doing fasted training, you want to have protein before it, particularly in the form of BCAAs, branched chain amino acids, 10 grams. So it's really a trade-off. You are breaking the fast. However, when you work out, you also have increased insulin sensitivity. So it quickly brings back your basal insulin levels back to the fasted state, and throughout the entire time, you are maintaining increased insulin sensitivity. So it's okay. Post-workout, yes, you do also want to have protein post-workout. So this depends on what IF protocol you're doing. If you are working out fasted, but then you quickly break your fast with your post-workout meal afterwards, just have protein there. If you are working out really early in the morning, like 5, 6, 7 a.m., and you're not going to break your fast until lunch, then you do want to take another 10 grams of BCAA. The saying out there is like every 2 hours or even every 3 hours until you break your fast with real food. All right, question from Jacqueline. If you are doing, I'm sorry. There was the everyday fast or the 2 days a week fast. So if you do the everyday fast, the most common form is the 16-8. So fast for 16 hours, including the time you sleep, and then eat an 8-hour window. Or 2 days a week, the very common intermittent fasting for 2 days a week is the 24-hour eat, stop, eat fast, which is not eating for 24 hours, going from dinner to dinner. So there is no right or wrong method of intermittent fasting. It's really a matter of what works best for you and what are your current goals. There are certain intermittent fasting protocols that can get faster results if you're looking for weight loss, but ultimately you want to pick a style that is sustainable and fits your lifestyle. Like, can you keep doing this? Me personally, I don't even really look at the clock anymore, but if I were to look at what I actually do, my style falls more in line with the 16-8 because it's a lot easier to do on a daily basis, usually you just skip breakfast. So take a look, at the guide and see which version best fits your lifestyle. All right, Jacqueline, if you are doing the 18-6 plan, do you ever take rest days where you eat whenever or just continue straight through? Okay, so I kind of alluded to this earlier, but yeah, you don't have to do IF every single day. I mean, there's days that I don't do IF, and there's days that I probably do a different type of IF. So again, it's about a lifestyle and ultimately what your goal is. So you want to develop a habit though. So you don't want to be changing your IF schedule every single day, because what happens is we train our bodies based on what we do to it. So it adapts to how we eat, how we train, when we eat. So if you start eating at a certain time every day, your body is going to start getting hungry at that time. So it's in your best interest to really stick to a more consistent schedule, because that's what your body is going to be used to, and it'll just be easier for you. Cindy, losing weight, how many carbs a day? All right, so this is a very complex question. So first off, the losing weight. Number one is a caloric deficit. You need to be eating less than what it currently takes you to maintain your current body weight to lose weight. Then number two is looking at what those calories are made up of. So quality, nutritious, wholesome sources of food is best, not processed junk food. So lean meats, healthy fats, fruits, vegetables. I mean, you guys know what healthy foods are. And protein, because protein is filling, and you also burn more calories from digesting protein than other foods. So caloric deficit, a focus on protein. Generally, a lot of people do not eat enough protein. And then we're looking at building lean muscle, back again to the weight training. And then lastly, the cardio. So that's in simplistic terms, but that is how you lose weight. And how many carbs a day? So this is very specific to the person. It really depends. So one person can lose weight eating 300 grams of carbs a day, and one person needs to eat 50 grams of carbs a day. It really depends on the person, how they've been dieting, what their body's used to, what their body types are, what their carb tolerance is. So unfortunately, I can't really answer that. It really depends on you. But if you see that you're eating X amount of carbs and you're not losing anything, and you're eating at a caloric deficit, you will, you'll have to adjust accordingly. Diane's question, strategies to lose weight. Okay, I just covered that. Helen, how to work out, gain muscle, lose fat, or lose weight and fat. Let me read that again. How to work out, gain muscle, lose weight, fat. What to eat on this type of day on a 16-8. Mimi, thank you for all your help. You appreciate it. Thank you so much. So you're asking essentially how to build muscle and lose fat at the same time. In general, that's really hard to do unless you're a beginner. So I've had a video on this, on the different scenarios where this can happen. Number one is, most commonly, you're a beginner and you get the newbie gains where you can build muscle and lose fat at the same time. But after that, you really can't do both. It's more effective if you chose one goal to focus at a time. If you should choose either to lose weight or build muscle first. In the end, you're going to get more muscle and less fat loss if you go attack one at a time. I hope that answered your question. Let me say a little more. So, other than being a newbie, the other situations that I've seen people build muscle and lose fat is if they've been under eating and they start to eat more, and they also increase the intensity of their workout. So let's say, for example, they were weightlifting, but they were not really intense, or they didn't do compound lifts. Then if they started eating more plus increasing the intensity of your workouts, I have seen that also result in building muscle and losing fat at the same time. And lastly, it's steroids, which I do not recommend at all. Other than that, you really want to focus on either losing the fat while maintaining your muscle, and then switching to a muscle building phase where you're trying to build lean muscle and minimize your fat gain, or start to build the muscle first and then lose all the extra fat that came along with building the muscle. Because usually when you build muscle, there will be some fat gain that comes with it. And whether you decide to lose the fat first or build muscle first really depends on your current starting point. So if you feel like you're kind of lean already, you don't have that much body fat, and you're okay with building muscle first and then cutting out all the extra fat after you build muscle, then you want to build muscle first. Or if you feel like I still have all this fat, I'd rather get rid of the fat first before I start building muscle and extra fat on top of that. All right, enough of that. I totally rambled like crazy there. Okay, Dana says this, also wanted to know the answer to that. And two more. Mark, regarding building muscle, I believe that I need between 200 to 300 grams of protein per day to gain muscle. I am currently strength training an average of 4 days a week. I'm migrating from 16.8 to 20.4, and find it difficult to eat enough protein in the 4-hour feeding window. What suggestions do you have for my situation? I am 6'1" and my current weight is 215 with 15% body fat. Okay, so in this case, what takes precedence is your diet. If you're looking to build muscle, then you need to eat at a caloric surplus. And yes, you're a big guy, so you do need to eat more protein. And if you can't fit it in to the 4 hours, then don't. Like IF is not a must do. There's tons of health benefits for it, but it's supposed to help make things easier. And if it doesn't, then that 24 fasting protocol does not work for you. I would stick with the 16.8. And last question from Bonnie, no water? I can't do no water. Yes, you can have water. So generally intermittent fasting allows you to have water, coffee, and tea. All right, and that's it. I hope you guys found that helpful. If you want to join my group, go to facebook.com/groups Intermittent Fasting Life and join the discussion. And I'll keep doing these Q&A videos if you guys find it helpful. Let me know by commenting below, give me a like, and I'll see you guys in the group. And don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching.